And share the screen. Let's see. Does anyone notice I'm back in my office? I gave myself half of a year out of this. No, not, yeah, maybe. I'd been like going all over the place and I was like, no, I need a space. All right, so today we're gonna chat about taxes, fun stuff, which I know everyone's probably getting ready to. And this for me, I guess like a year ago was the first time I actually took, maybe it was 2 years ago that I like took it seriously, and I was like, oh shoot, like I can write stuff off, and I wasn't prepared for it my first year. So I'm glad to teach you guys about this. So we're gonna talk about taxes and then just part-time hours, and I'm gonna just, the part-time hour part, I'm gonna really just speak to you from my heart. I'm not gonna give you like a schedule or an itinerary because I feel like that takes the joy out of this business, but I'm just gonna kind of talk you through on how I used to run this business when I was teaching, when I had my photography business, and obviously X and Zane have always been here too. Real fast though, I want to just quickly go over some announcements because I think it's important to always be thinking about the future and also know about what's going on right now. Right now, Beachbody is trying to get rid of pumpkin spice before it essentially expires, because these are, you know, the ingredients in our Shakeology is no different than the produce section at the grocery store. It expires. So they are to the point now where really no one's buying pumpkin Shako, because I don't know about you, but like when it's wintertime, I don't want pumpkin. Like I'm a fall basic, you know what. So they are giving away pumpkin Shakeology 14-pack boxes with every purchase of a completion pack or a challenge pack. And this will happen until supplies run out. I'm assuming they'll give us a heads up when they're running out. But I have a friend right now that's at NLC in LA, and in their gift bag, they had pumpkin spice Shakeology. She's like, man, they're really trying to get rid of this stuff.
I did want to say too, because I didn't notice this. Morgan actually did.
Uh-huh.
It's only if you set them up with a Shakeology Challenger completion pack. If you do Performance line, you don't get it. Because Morgan was telling people that they were going to get it, and then this person went in the Performance line, and then she had to like backtrack and be like, oh, that's only
Oh, a Shakeology. Okay, good. I did not know that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Did not know that. Next thing, I want to make sure everyone's just kind of getting their minds wrapped around. I can't provide any input yet because I haven't seen it, but I am so stinking excited because Beachbody is going to be launching BOD groups late March, and then I guess like full on running through April. So I'm guessing it'll be like that last week of March. But what BOD groups is basically, I'm so excited for it. They're putting everything in one space. So you know how right now we have Beachbody On Demand, My Challenge Tracker, the Nutrition Tracker app, Coach Office, all those things. They are creating BOD groups, which is going to be a hub for everything. So if you're using the Challenge Tracker app right now for your boot camps, don't panic. Beachbody is taking care of that for us. It's going to morph all in together. So you're not going to lose anything. They're just basically like pushing everything together. And I'm so stinking excited for that, because I know that's one thing. I'll help someone get set up with a challenge pack, and then they'll miss my email for the invite to the boot camp, and then I got to go check up on them, and like it just gets crazy. Whereas now it's going to be one space. From what I've heard from Carl's video, it's going to even go as far as when they check out for their share cart, we will automatically be able to invite them into our boot camp. Like it's going to be so simple. So I'm so excited for that. So just be ready and in the mindset to learn about something new late March, early April, because this is something you don't want to not participate in and jump in on, because it's going to make life for everyone so much easier, especially when helping our clients get results. Okay, next one. Did everyone see Mixed Berry Energize is coming out in May? So my friend who is at NLC, she got to try it. She got to try it yesterday, and she says she's like, this is going to be the best seller. She's like, it is so good. She said it has like, when she drank it, the flavors of like raspberry kind of popped out and strawberry, but she's like, it is so delicious. She almost said it tastes like she's like, I almost thought of when I mix my lemon and my tropical punch together, or fruit punch together. So I'm super excited about that, but she said it's definitely going to be a bestseller. And then just a reminder that Summit is in July. Keep your eyes on that. I really we had such an amazing group and had a blast this year, this past year in Indy, and I'm so excited for New Orleans. It's going to be so special. I'm a little bit more heartfelt towards this one because this is where I went for my first summit when I was an Emerald coach and I was still so brand new. And now it's going to be kind of a full circle moment where we get to recognize our team on stage for being a premier team. So it's just going to be super special. And I would love for as many people on our team to be there and just be able to build and just experience it together. Okay. Stella's ringing her bells. We call them Stell's bells. Okay, so let's chat about taxes and write-offs. I think you guys are going to be pleasantly surprised because there's a lot more things you can write off than you would probably imagine. Everyone should have received their 1099 in the mail. I got mine last week, but if you haven't, it said you should have, you should actually have them by now. If you haven't, let me know, and we'll reach out to Coach Relations and check on that. Okay, so here are the things that you can write off as a coach. Your business fees. So when you go into teambeachbody.com and you go to my orders, log on to yourself, click my orders, that is basically, you can print off your receipts of all the business fees that you pay. You can write off your Shakeology or Performance Line, whatever tools you use to get yourself to 90 PV on Home Direct for Success Club. Up to is what I'm saying. So if you order more than what you need, I don't know if you can, I guess you could write those off because they're helping your business if it's a new launch and stuff. But I know for sure you can write off whatever it is that keeps you to 90 PV. So me, on my business center, I have Shakeology every single month. That keeps me at 90 PV. It keeps me earning Success Club, and it's obviously, marketing for my business. Zane's account, we have our Performance Line. So we can write both of those off. If you purchased what's the word I'm thinking of? The VIP for one of our new launch programs. So for example, if you purchase Bar Blend, or if you purchase 6 weeks of the work, those packs, those are marketing for your business. You can write those off because you're supporting, the new launches. Anything that you use while on the trip for Summit, Success Club trip, Super Weekend, any expenses from receipts for food, receipts for gas, hotel, the actual ticket, plane tickets, all of those things can be written off. If you have purchased workout clothes that go towards your branding, so if you've definitely purchased any Beachbody clothes, those are branding for your business. I have a color scheme that I kind of follow. So anytime I make a purchase of workout clothes that go along with the color scheme for my Instagram, that's marketing and branding. So you can write those off. So save those receipts. If you've purchased anything that's a gift for your clients or your coaches. So for example, if I buy sampler packs of Energize and I send them as gifts, or beach bars and send them as gifts, I can write those off. If we had hoodies, or the Team Grind and Shine, the gray off the shoulder, I got those for team members who hit Success Club in, I think it was August. Those can, those are gifts towards coaches, so I can write that off. So if you've purchased any gifts or done any giveaways that you purchased, you can write those off. PD books or Audible membership. So I have my Audible, it's $13 a month. I can write that off because it's your growing personal development. It's one of our checklists on our Success Club tracker. Post office shipping. If you send anything to anyone, save the receipt for the shipping, you can write that. If anyone's done any paid trainings, I've never done that because we, as Beachbody coaches, gosh, we have so many training opportunities from YouTube to Beachbody Champions. I don't pay for any, but I do know there are people out there that offer paid services for training. You can write those off. But if any of you go pay for a training, talk to me first, because there's a lot of people out there taken advantage of Beachbody coaches with paid trainings, and I am not here for it. There's way too much free stuff out there. Okay, sorry, that was a little soapbox. Portion of your cell phone bill, guys. We don't have a business. We don't pay rent. This is our rent. So you can use a portion of your cell phone bill to write that off on taxes. Same goes with your internet. If you have a home office space, that can be written off as well. And then mileage that was business related. So if you drove to a super weekend or drove to Indy, that is anything, or that's something you can write off too. Any questions about that? All right. My goal every year. Oh, go ahead. Yep.
So for the 1099s, is that like, would I be included into that where I started coaching in October and I only signed up for like, I think 1 or 2 challengers?
No.
That's what I'm just making sure.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, and I should have had that written. If you haven't made more than $600 with Beachbody, you don't have to claim.
Okay.
So you're good then. I think because if it's less than 600, it's considered like a hobby, and then you don't have to pay for that. All right, so now we're going to talk about taking action part-time, and I don't even have slides for this because I just want to speak from the heart on this one because, I think it's so easy to get wrapped up in the check boxes and all the things that we have to do as coaches to push, or the things that, it's so easy to get wrapped up in that. And I want to just kind of have a heart-to-heart. So when I first started coaching, my first excuse that I told my coach when she invited me, because she invited me and I said no. And the first thing I told her was I didn't have enough time. And then I decided, if you've heard my story, I decided I would say yes so that I could get my discount on Shakeology. And that was it. I didn't have any intentions of doing this. And what happened was I just fell so in love with it. I started having so much fun doing this that I was so excited to leave work every day, because where I taught, it was the creek. Like that's where I taught. You pull on the creek and you lose service. Like you are in no man's land. So I had no cell phone service. So from 6:30 to 3 every day, sometimes 3:30, depending when I left school, I was off the grid essentially. So I want you guys to remember that, because I didn't always have this full time. But I can tell you that every day when I left my school, I was so excited to get off that creek and see like the messages, to see what I could dive into. I was so excited to come home and work my business. And I think that's really important to remember and to kind of reflect on, was I never had anyone saying, you have to do this, this, and this, and this. I had people showing me, you can do this, this, and this. But it always came down to me, and it came down to my joy and what I wanted to do with this business. And I think that's super important for each of you as coaches, is to think about, why do you want to do this? This is a job we don't have to do. This is a job we don't have anyone telling us that if we don't do this, then this is our value. I remember test scores bring me so much anxiety. And I remember every year, I would value my worth on what my kids' test scores were. And with coaching, it didn't matter. Like, I got to do this and nobody told me if I was good or bad. Nobody made me feel the stress that sometimes our everyday jobs do. And so I always was zoned in on that. And so this job was never something I had to do. It was something I got to do. It was something that brought me so much joy. Now, I understand though that there's still days that are super busy, and there's days that just suck our energy out. And so for me, I had a really big, and this might not relate to any of you guys, but I just wanted to like share with you what a really big full circle moment for me was when I told my coach I didn't have time to coach. I instantly I kind of stopped myself, and I had to reflect on okay, well, why don't I have enough time? Like, what am I doing with my time? And I did the math the other day. So I used to, I started coaching when Xavier was already 5. So, you know, I see a lot of women in this business that start as coaches while they're coaching, they have kids, and then, you know, they transition into being a coach with a new mom and their kids. I didn't have that. X was already 5, so we were in a very different life stage. And I remember saying, like, I don't have time. And then I thought back, have you guys ever seen the TV show Parenthood? It's an amazing show. It's so amazing that I binge watched it in 2 weeks while Xavier was 4 years old. I was in the extreme low of my life. I was the unhealthiest I'd ever been. And I thought, I was saying I had no time. I was saying I was busy, but yet I watched 103 episodes, 45 minutes long. That ran to 77 hours of television in 2 weeks. But I was saying I didn't have enough time. And so that's kind of something that I always think about now. And what's something that I got to speak on the call just before this that kind of came full circle was I was using all my extra time after school to do things like that. I was using all my extra time between editing photos from my weekend photo sessions to grading papers, lesson plans, and just being so mentally exhausted. And I was not doing anything to pour back into myself. And I started thinking about it the other day, and I don't know if you guys know this because I don't really share about this, but I'm home, you know, I get to do this full time now. And you know, I don't ever turn on my TV during the workday. I couldn't tell you the last time. I think one day last year in the fall, I decided to turn on Handmaid's Tale, and it started to just take too much of my energy, and I had to stop. And I was like, wait, this is not giving me value with my time. And so that's something I'm super conscious about when I'm doing this full-time and when I was doing this part-time and now full-time is, am I putting my energy in consuming someone else, like consuming that TV or that Netflix, when really I could be providing value and creating content and creating a positive space for my energy, which in return brings people in. People feel that energy. And if I'm using my energy to suck into other things, then that's kind of what took so much of my time. And now I'll just kind of get into the specifics of like what my day looked like when I was off the grid versus in coaching. So for me, my workouts in the morning and my PD, like personal development, on the drive to school. That was all I did in the mornings. That was it. So because I would hit snooze. So when I was doing my workouts in the mornings, like as soon as that workout was over, because it was 80-day obsession time where we were doing an hour workout especially, as soon as that workout was over, I was running up the steps to get in the shower because I was going to be late for work. And so all I had time for in the mornings was workout and PD. But that right there, that was 2 check marks off my business. That was 2 things that I got to do and check off my list. Because while I said I don't want this stressing me out, I do love this. I love checking off boxes, but I don't let this become my joy. I always make sure that I'm putting my focus in on why I love to do this business. But that to me was like, I already knocked off 2 things that I needed to do today. And then when I got home from school, when I was winding down, when Xavier was, we had finished his homework and he was kind of doing his activity, because by the end of his school day, we both needed to kind of like bring our piece down. He would sometimes, watch his YouTube videos or start playing with his toys. And for me, I would sit down and instead of mindlessly scrolling, because we know we all have our phones in our hands anyways, I was using that scroll for purpose. I was using that scroll to start sharing. I was using it to start bringing light into my business, talking to people, answering questions, thanking them. In the beginning of my business, I spent more time thanking people for clicking like on my pictures or, things than I did actually inviting them. But I think that was powerful because that was building connections. That was making friendships. That was getting people seeing that like, oh, she is just a human. She's not here just trying to sell me something. And then I would spend at that time in the beginning of my business, I would do 3 invites a day. I know you guys hear me say 20 now, but I'm in a very different phase of my business. I do today, and next year it'll probably be bigger because we grow. But when I first started this business, it was 3 to 5 invites a day. That's what I was doing for the goals that I had at that point in time. Because when I started, I didn't have goals to be a full-time coach. I didn't have goals to do this for, I think I've said this before, but if you scroll far back enough in my Instagram, there's a picture of X and I at the pool. And I stated, I will never do coaching full-time, but I'm going to use this to help us travel. And it's so funny because it was a year later I ate my words. So never say never, but that was the state of mind for me. I was never planning to leave my full-time job, but I was finding so much joy in what it could bring for me. So I think the key with doing this part-time is making sure that you are so intact with how it's bringing you joy. Because if it's not bringing you joy, you shouldn't be doing it. If you're not having fun with it, you need to either A, get your mindset and realize wait, why is this fun? Why do I like doing this? Because it should never be another thing you have to do. It should be something you get to do. And that is so important in your mindset for this, because you can't help someone if you have to help them. If you come in and say, oh, I have to do this. And for me, just to kind of be extremely transparent, when I was going to school every day, I felt like I had to do it. And that's why I started to get so burned out. And burning out in your full-time job is no different than burning out in coaching. If you feel like it's something you have to do, you're not here for the right reasons. And it doesn't mean you can't find the right reasons, but it means you're focusing or magnifying the wrong reasons. This is something we get to do. We get to help people. We get to provide a positive space of energy for our own lives. And that is so, so powerful. When you think about, when I think about the life that I was living before, in the sense of my negative energy and where I was putting my time, and now my life now, and how even on the gloomiest of days, and when I'm just blah, because we all have those blah days, I still get excited to do this. So I know that probably wasn't super structured. I know maybe for the part-timers, you wanted me to give you a strict schedule, but I think that's honestly something that you have to find for you. If I give you my schedule, it's going to become something you have to do. It's going to become something that someone tells you to do. And for me, that was never what I wanted from this. I wanted freedom. I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted that joy of knowing, you know what? If I decide I'm not going to post today, that's because I decided. And I'm not going to have, and I'm only going to use my boss, my old principal's name, which she's a good friend of mine, but I'm only going to use her name. But I used to be late for school every day. Every day I was 10 minutes late, and I'd be running in alongside the kids. I was not that good teacher that was there ready. I was come on guys, we can do it. And I there was another teacher that would do it too. And we'd get emails every couple weeks. Guys, everyone be respectful of everyone's time. We all need to come to work on time. And me and the other teacher that were always late, we'd look at each other. We'd be yeah, did you see that email? And we'd be yeah. And I remember feeling the worst person in the world, because I was trying to get there on time, but it's not who I am. I'm not someone who's ever on time. And I'm always right there on the brink. I will show up right on time or 5 minutes late. My husband, Zane, hates it. He hates it. But that is me. And so I always felt like I was getting in trouble for just being me and trying my best. And with coaching, I never had to feel that way. I've always felt that I'm in control. I want to be the one there on time. I want to work harder. I want to be the one that has the highest Success Club numbers. I want to be the one that's on the leaderboard because I want it. Not because someone told me, not because I'm going to get an email if I don't, but because it's just me. And that's what you have to remember with this business is if you want to do it in these hours, you got to find that the way that it's going to work for you and bring you joy and bring you happiness, because I can't bring that for you. That comes from you. Now I can help you if you look at me and you be like, Lauren, I need help. I need a structure. But it ultimately comes down to you. So that's kind of what I have for today. Does anyone have any specific questions on part-time hours? I know that was probably not what you were hoping, but I feel like honestly from the heart, that's what it has to be. Andrea, did you have any specific ones because you were the one asking about the part-timers?
No, I'm good. I just that's kind of like what I needed was, I guess, just the mentality of it, because I'm like you, I don't have service at school.
Right.
So it's like when I see those messages, it like kills me that I could see them, but I can't reply to them.
That was my life. Absolutely. And I think the important thing is sometimes I think it's a good thing that I didn't have service at school because honestly, I loved this business so much that I probably would have been on my phone during the school day. Like I would have done that. I would have, because it was just what was bringing me joy. And so I wouldn't have been able to serve my students the best that I can. So for those of you, if you are finding yourself like doing that, like it's okay to shut your phone down. You can still have a successful business and reach your goals by turning your phone off while you're at your full-time job. Absolutely. Just because I'm doing this now during the day does not mean that that's what it has to look like for you guys. Sorry, I'm gonna take off my bougie robe. Yeah. So also, I mean, just like and with social media too, remember, like, don't just feel like your social media is just your Beachbody account. Like your social media is there to like shine light on who you are as a person. And that sometimes I think people take the fun out of too. Like I love showing what I'm like, I love taking a picture of my pretty food and showing what I'm eating. Or I love, yesterday X was jump roping, he's just being silly as all get out. He's like, video me, mom. Like I love showing people that. So find the parts in your life that you enjoy sharing with people, because that's all social media is sharing the parts of our life that we want others to see. I always kind of treat, it's funny. So when people, when we were diving into our adoption, people were like, oh, talking about, like sharing pictures and things like that. And I always kind of treated my social media, with Xavier, like with his adoption and then like with his birth mom at the time, I always treated it like they were an aunt or an uncle. Like, we're so excited, like, look at my baby, look at my baby. Like, we're so excited to share those bits and pieces. Well, if we stop and look at our own lives, like, what are the pieces of your life that are happening in your day that you would send your significant other? Honestly, most of the times, the pictures that I post of Stella or the videos of Stella and Cooper, I've already sent those to Zane. Like, I was already capturing that moment for the people that I love to see. That's with social media, that's all essentially what you're doing. If it's a funny gift that you'd send to your spouse or your best friend, put it on your social media. I mean, if it's appropriate. I mean, sometimes, you know how it goes. But guys, that's all I have. Why are you staring at me? This is what I deal with.
Because I love you.
I need some last minute words of encouragement from Zane to end this call.
Just do it.
Here, give him one final words before I cut you off.
Just do it.
Hater.
Andrea.
What?
See Corey there.
Corey is here, but homegirl just woke up, and I can't bless you with this beautiful face like this.
All right, guys. Zane provides no value today, but I will chat with you. I will chat with you guys later. Oh, also, everyone mark your calendars. In 2 weeks, in our 60 Days to Slay group, we have the most amazing call on the 19th. It's a Wednesday evening, so I know it's kind of out of our norm, but we have a coach. Her name is Beth Ingram, I think, or Ingram. I always see it as Beth I. Beth I is what Beachbody puts her. She is like a booming coach that has just really decided to take ownership in her business. She's been a coach for, I think, 3 years. She falls in our bombshell like family lineage, so she is in our family somewhere or the other. I think she's one of Scotty Hobbs, but in the last I want to say like 3 months, she went from a diamond coach and she locked in. She's qualifying 4-star right now and 2-star in her husband's business. Like, she came out from the woodwork, like just decided she was just gonna take ownership of her business. So I am so excited because she's going to be speaking to us on the 19th. So make sure you put in your calendars. I believe it's going to be a later call for us, like 9. So if it's too late for you to sit up, just make it one where you're in your bed and you put your earbuds in, because it's not going to be one that you want to miss. So, all right, guys, I will chat with you later. Have a great weekend. Bye.